Have you got a wide angle lens? Lots of us do, although you might not necessarily realise it. Good wide angle lenses are not cheap things. Good lenses aren't cheap things. But pretty much everyone is carrying a wide angle lens of some description these days because it's one of those there. A lot of people don't really use them to their full potential. Now, I'm not going to suddenly do you a video about wide angle phone photography, but what I am going to do is bolt on an Olympus 7 to 14 millimeter ultra wide zoom, and I've come to this very large open space to give you some ideas on how to use it to its fullest potential. Yeah, if you're already thinking, well, a big wide open space isn't necessarily going to show you how to use a wide angle to its fullest potential. If you're thinking that, you're absolutely right. Maybe I didn't think this through. So I'm now going to tell you something that's going to make you sit up and think, but I'm not as stupid as I look. No, really, because lovely wide open space, not a lovely wide open photograph. This down here is. It's that time of year where you get the fungi, and yeah, they are wonderful things to shoot with a wide angle lens. No, really. This is one heck of a wide angle lens, because most wide angle lenses will allow you to get very close to a subject and still focus. And this ultra wide zoom, 7 to 14, is just beautiful for it. And just look how close that is. 6 inches, something like that. Of course, I need to be very careful here. There's not a lot of light. Going to try and keep the depth of field quite shallow, and I'm going to go very close. A wide angle there, clear a little bit of debris. And there's a shot of a mushroom that I couldn't have got with any other lens. Hope you like it. As I walked into this kind of little copse of beech trees, I was struck by just how gorgeous the scene was, and I was a little further down there. I envisaged getting a wide shot with the lens, and then cropping it to a kind of 16:9 or letterbox or something to really just kind of focus on the up down of the trees. But I realised that actually that lens really wasn't probably the lens for it, because I've got too much height, so to speak. It's just a bit too bright up here. It's okay, it's not so bad in this direction, but if I turn you back this way, we've got the highlight of the lake, which makes it really difficult. While I was editing this, I realised that what I said on the camera in the woods there made sense to me, but probably won't make sense to anybody else. So what I mean is that the height in terms of my elevation off the ground, so I could see through the woods, not the elevation of the camera or height of the camera or anything. And the problem looking back towards the lake was just the big strip of kind of nothingness. It was just water. And then looking in the opposite direction, there was a brighter strip that was really what I was trying to photograph. Let's face it, it was the kind of the ground, the bright strip, and then the trees, or rather the tree canopy. But even that I couldn't get, so we had real trouble getting any detail in the bright strip and detail in the bottom strip, detail in the top strip. And whilst I think the idea was good, I don't think I could execute it, and that's what I think I was trying to say. So I kind of abandoned that idea, and instead I looked more for patterns and shapes and everything again. And yeah, I think I found something. So you can see how close I am to this here. It's just the shape at the bottom of the tree, lots of colour in it, and yeah, I'm really quite liking what it looks like in the back of the camera. Although I think it's fair to say that often things I like in the back of the camera I absolutely hate when I get them back onto a big screen. So this might be a total failure. So another close-up shot, although I'm not even close enough yet. Let's get kind of here, and I think I need to kind of look down on it. I'm not convinced by this yet, but let's see what we kind of get to. Now, I'm zoomed in at about 11mm, and I think it's fair to say that because of the movement that's going on here, I'm not going to be able to focus stack this unless it really does calm down. But I mean, there's enough movement to cause problems, I think. So I'm going to have to be really careful with it. Now you might say 11mm. Well, yeah, that's barely any difference from the 12mm that you have in the other lens. That's true, but I can't get this close with the other lens. And I might even be able to get a little closer than this. It's really difficult because I've got long grass here, so I can't keep moving the tripod easily. I'm just going to run a test shot and see what that's like. Well, that won't focus there, so I have to come back anyway. So I think I'll have to crop in on this later. I think it's a little study of this. It's quite nice. It's not perfect. There's some more further over here, which might be better. So without doubt, this is a better shot, but it's a lot more difficult because I'm in the tree and everything's moving. Kind of like that. Although there's a lot in there's a lot in the shot that's going to be a problem. This might completely foul up. Really pushing the ISO up to get at least a half decent shutter speed. Stay very still. Wait for it to stop moving. Hopefully that's worked. If it has, here's the shot. I need to thank MBP for loaning me this lens. It was a wonderful lens. I don't have it anymore. It's been sent back some time ago, but it's a wonderful, wonderful lens. I didn't get as much use out of it as I hoped I would, and that's nothing to do with the lens. It was just the environment, the fact I caught COVID and was out of action for a couple of weeks whilst I had it. Really didn't help, and I just didn't get out to the kind of places where it would really, really have worked exceptionally well. What I had in my mind was a kind of nice long view to a subject that had a foreground on it, an interesting foreground. You see wonderful shots across bays of castles in the background and everything. We haven't got those in Norfolk. And yeah, I just didn't find that kind of shot, which is a real shame because I'd have loved to have taken it. That's not to say I can't take it with the 12 to 40 that I normally would use. It's just that that's probably not quite wide enough to do the job and do it real justice. I think at the end of the day there is a real use case for a wide angle lens, and it's the kind of scene that I've described that I didn't get, and the kind of scenes that I was trying to get here, and I think fell short on most of them. I think the basket, the autumn basket shot, looking down in the woods, that I really love, and I may well print that and put it up on the wall somewhere. I think that's a lovely shot. It might work well up there. I think the point is more that the mushroom's just an okay shot, and the sweet chestnut is yeah, it's kind of take it or leave it. It's not quite like the sweet chestnut shot that you'll see in a moment, which was shot with the same lens but in different conditions, and it's a beauty. It's a lovely, lovely little shot. I'm really very pleased with this, that you'll see in a minute. I think the point is that when you have a big wide angle lens, you've got to be actually really careful on with how you use that lens, because it isn't for big wide angle vistas as such, or rather, if you can make it like that, you're a better photographer than I am. And that probably sounds quite conceited. It's not. I'm an okay photographer, but yeah, there are use cases for every type of lens, and there's so many people out there that think, oh, I'm a landscape photographer, and I need a wide angle lens because landscapes are wide. No, they're not. Don't. The best lens for a landscape photographer is not one of those. I'll show you the best lens for a landscape photographer. That's the best lens for a landscape photographer. That's a 40 to 150, 80 to 300 equivalent. You want a broad zoom telephoto. Yeah, something that goes from just around 80, anything up to kind of 300. That's what you want for landscape, not a wide angle. So I've seen a number of people ask this question on forums and such and whatever recently. Do not buy a wide angle for landscapes if you expect to shoot wide landscapes. If you're in a location that offers marvellous foregrounds with some interesting mid-ground and some marvellous subjects in the distance, great, knock yourself out with a wide angle. Use it vertically and get some of those wonderful, wonderful shots with real depth front to back. But otherwise, wide angle isn't for you. If you're shooting indoors and you need a big view of a room, a wide angle may well help you. But again, you've got to be really careful of distortion and such. This shot here was shot with this wonderful 7 to 14 lens, and look at the distortion. I haven't attempted to correct it because I actually quite like it, but it's distorted. And the more you try to kind of cram into a wide angle shot, the more distortion you're going to get, particularly around the edges. If you're not shooting dead level, you're going to get distortion, and it's going to either work for your image or it's not. But anyway, there's my wide angle do's and don'ts, so to speak. There weren't many do's and weren't many don'ts, were they? But yeah, I think you hopefully get the picture, and if you don't, stick your comments down in the description below, and and tell me how you use a wide angle. If you would like to see me using this lens out in the wilds of Yorkshire on top of a cliff, and I really was on the edge, there's this video here. And if you would like to see 5 tips on various things, there's a playlist here, and the playlist is growing. Give the video a thumbs up, a like, a share, all of that kind of thing. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I don't know how long I can hold this pose.